Claire, what would happen if the 40-year-old virgin got fired from his Best Buy job and became a crazy psychopathic film editor?
I believe it would be this movie.
I believe he would be some sort of Nightcrawler.
If you will.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We were reviewing the movie Nightcrawler, which stars Jake Gyllenhaal, starring as a creepy dude.
Wait. I would just like to emphasize creepy.
Very
creepy dude.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Your favorite bubble boy has become a creepy, satanic version of DMZ, I would think. Or something like that.
Ooh, that is a
it's really bad.
spot-on analogy.
But instead of TMZ being a national gossip news site, we're talking about local news.
Mm-hmm. Well, LA.
Local news.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot going on there.
All right. So, Nightcrawler. So this was a big movie that got a lot of Oscar buzz, actually. There was, for Jake Gyllenhaal's performance, Best Picture at some point, a lot of other things. It actually kind of ended up getting snubbed during the Oscars, but was getting nominated for other awards. But it just wasn't that year. So, Claire, what are your first initial thoughts after seeing this movie?
Okay. If I had to sum it up in one word, I believe it's what we've already mentioned many times. Creepy. I think one of the things that really carried this film was that you couldn't ever tell what was going on. Like, we ended up spending most of the movie going, oh, I bet he's going to do this. Oh, I bet he's going to do this. Oh, I bet he's going to do this. And none of it actually happened, but somehow it continued to carry it on.
Mm-hmm.
So, initial thoughts, enjoyed it.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
I thought it was it's a psychological kind of thriller. It's a little bit of a, it's definitely a character-driven movie where you're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on in this guy's head. Like, is he just simply crazy? Is he socially awkward? Is he just so much smarter than everyone else?
Yeah, is there something...
It's kind of a little bit of all the above. He doesn't know how to relate to people, but he knows how to manipulate people into getting what he wants.
He knows how to barter and negotiate. Negotiate was this kind of underlining principle throughout the whole movie, whether work, whether personal, friendships. So this kind of barter...
Yeah, and it's not necessarily even it's like a kind of a weird hybrid between negotiation and blackmail.
Well, yeah.
Like some people would consider it as blackmail, and there are definitely moments where you're like, oh my god, this is blackmail. But he also has this point where he has that kind of almost devil-like approach of it. It's like, but this is your choice. I'm presenting you with an opportunity, and you can choose not to take that opportunity. And if you don't take that opportunity, it might...
Stop it, Tommy! You sound just like him. That is enough.
Listen, Claire, I believe we negotiated this before we started this thing. We negotiated what we were going to say, how we were going to say it, and what we were going to
do. I'm just here to balance out the screen. There just needed to be two.
Anywho, I really like this movie, actually. I enjoy part of the a lot of the movies I've been watching lately. I actually kind of have gotten into the whole, kind of anti-hero character study film.
Yeah.
Like, it's not so much about the story, it's more about the characters, whether they're good characters or bad characters, they're conflicted characters. Other things that I've been seeing that are a lot like that. Obviously, Gone Girl is a lot like that. Could you imagine? Now, you haven't seen Gone Girl or read it, so no spoilers, but you know the general premise of the film, right?
Yeah, I do.
And you know that, the character of the girl, the main girl, what do you know about that? Even though we're not reviewing this movie, I just want to know what you think about it. Because I have a joke that might make sense depending on how much you know.
She was crazy?
Absolutely. So imagine this. Imagine Amy Dunn, who is the character in Gone Girl, and this guy together.
I don't know if I'd like that so much.
No, it'd be the devil child.
But it'd make for a good film.
Oh, man. Could you imagine that odd couple pairing? Oh, good Lord. Other things that...
Should we do... likes, dislikes?
Sure, yeah. You know what? I'll start with likes first.
Ooh,
Things that I liked. Jake Gyllenhaal's performance was very, very good. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed Renee Russo's performance, actually. I thought she was quite good as kind of, kind of playing off. I mean, they're, as they even mentioned in the movie, Renee Russo has got to be in her late 50s, early 60s. I mean, she's been around much longer than she's much older than Jake Gyllenhaal, but it's just kind of interesting how they kind of play off one another.
Well, in her career, she had a role of power, but
that didn't last very long.
But it didn't last in her kind of personal, subtle career life. So there was this. She constantly bounced back and forth.
Right. She's the news director that Jake Gyllenhaal's selling all of this stuff to.
Selling.
The third thing is third and final thing that I really enjoyed, which kind of kept the movie going.
Are you going to say what I'm going to say?
Why don't you say it first?
The music?
Yes. That score is very, very good. Yep. It's very, it really revs up the suspense when it needs to be. It's driving. It's
super subtle, though.
I was just going to say, there are certain parts where it's like super subtle and you don't realize
it. But then you realize you're like, kind of crawling towards the TV.
Well, at one point it's almost lighthearted at the beginning, right? Like, there was a moment, there's a scene, like, towards the beginning when, I think when he first meets Rene Russo, I think.
Yeah,
and he's kind of like laying out like
booking it into the production room and
like the first time. Yeah. And he's kind of like politely explaining himself to Rene Russo, like after they first meet or something, and like he's giving one of his many monologues, and it almost like that first one, it has like a lighthearted musical background, and it's like super weird. I noticed it then, and sometimes with the score it can really pull you up, but then it actually in the overall picture is really nice because it just completely kind of shows you how to, he seems like an innocent, lighthearted guy who's just trying to get a foot in the door, a little unorthodox or whatever, and then you just see the music follows the trajectory of the character, how it just kind of becomes more intense and psychotic and kind of driving.
But I noticed it wasn't so much like other films where the music kind of drives you to feel a certain way.
We're eating jelly beans to this, FYI.
Jelly beans and wine. So the music in some films can drive you to the suspense moment, or can drive you to feel worried or to feel a certain part of a scene. Whereas the character drove it, but the music kind of emphasized it a little bit more. So that definitely was the biggest highlight for me with the music. And it's kind of subtle. I felt it was subtle in a way that most kind of these thriller, drama, suspense movies don't do.
Who is your favorite character in the
movie?
Rick.
But I won't say anything more because it's big.
Yeah, spoilers. Rick is the sidekick to Jake Gyllenhaal, his business partner. His camera boy, intern.
Yeah.
Intern. Whatever direction. His live action GPS.
His character put in stark contrast to Jake Gyllenhaal's character. I mean, the two of them, like, Rick was kind of a way to emphasize just how bananas Lou Bloom was.
Yep. Mm-hmm. No, I think that's fair. Okay, you can start first with this. What did you not like about the film?
I had something, but then I just forgot it. You go, I'm eating.
What I didn't like about the movie was the fact that I would think that there were parts of the film actually where there are a few moments where I thought that there was kind of too much of a leap in logic or something. They kind of acknowledge it at the end without getting into too much spoilers. Like, the main character does A, B, and C, and you're kind of like, how is he not going to get caught doing this? And they kind of gloss over that a bit, and it's. Well, they come to some, like, the detective, makes a point of it. She kind of goes, like, I think you've done A, B, and C, which is what he's really done, and I think that you are guilty of manipulating all these things and that you did all this stuff so that you could just sell footage, and, you should be considered guilty of murder. And he kind of just looks at her kind of calmly and it's just kind of like, I didn't do that, and if you thought I did, you'd be able to prove it.
Yeah.
And there are parts of me that think, God, I would think that the LAPD Major Crimes Unit, that if they really suspected that, he was at the scene of the house of a murder, he filmed everything, contaminated the crime scene, then went home and showed only part of the footage to the police, claims that he found out more later.
You would You
Well, you would think they'd get
a little bit too.
Well, you would think
they'd focus on him.
You think they'd be able to get a court order and like download his hard drive, because even if he deleted and edited the footage out that he didn't release to the police, that would probably have some sort of an echo of some sort of data echo, where they would be able to retrieve that data. You'd think. Perhaps. I'm not a computer expert, but I've seen enough Criminal Minds where that stuff happens. So.
I've watched enough.
And if it's
Order.
and you know, and if it's online, it's probably fine.
Well, and I believe all they have to go is be like, computer, give me that information, and then it's there. So,
Anywho, so there's a little bit of a stretch there. They tried to do it. You know what? Actually, I found was interesting too is because I'm more of a movie buff. There are certain scenes too, or certain little moments in the movie where I thought it was like, oh, they're borrowing from this, or oh, they're borrowing from that, which was kind of cool. Like, so the scene towards the end when he leaves the detective's office, you know, and he's walking out, and he kind of just puts on the sunglasses and is kind of walking. They kind of pan up from his feet, and he's kind of like cracking his hand. That's straight out of Usual Suspects. When Kevin Spacey walks out of the detective. Have you seen it? Okay, this movie's 20 years old now, so like, it was 1995.
Okay.
It won Kevin Spacey. I think it nominated him. No, I think he won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Spoilers. All right. Usual Suspects. Kevin Spacey. He plays a guy with cerebral palsy who is a low-level criminal who's the only survivor of this heist gone wrong, this drug heist gone wrong, and he's telling the detective what happened, and that this mysterious gangster called Kaiser Soze is who killed everybody. And then at the very end.
Sometimes I get concerned when Tom goes off on a rant about his movie knowledge.
Anywho, at the end... Wait,
let me put my glasses on. I'll sound more fancy. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Listen, at the end, this is one of the best twists in a movie. Kaiser Soze. At the same time, there's another survivor who no one else knows about because the police are worried that this guy's going to be killed. And he's all burned up from the boat fire and the bad drug bust. And he gives a description of Kaiser Soze to the sketch artist. And right as the detective has walked Kevin Spacey out, the fax comes through and it's Kevin Spacey's face. And the detective is sitting in the office where he was interrogating, because he was borrowing a friend's office, where he was interrogating this guy from where Kevin Spacey's sitting. And he's looking at this billboard of crap. And he realizes all the names, all the locations were all on this billboard. And Kevin Spacey was just reading it and making it up in the story. And when he sees it piecing all together, they pan down to Kevin Spacey's feet because he's got cerebral palsy, so he's got a limp the whole time and he can't move his hand. And then you see him just all of a sudden start limping and then walking. And then you see him kind of go like this. And he like pops his thumb back into place or whatever, and then he takes out a cigarette, and you realize he was Kaiser Soze the whole time. He killed everybody and just walked away and drives away. And by the time the detective realizes it, he's already gone. And it's very similar. The scene is straight out of there. It's so borrowed. It's a classic thing. It's awesome. Because it's just the guy kind of walking out of the police station. He goes, "I've beaten you," and he's just kind of strutting away. Puts on the sunglasses and just kind of smiles and just walks away. Free man. So, all right. So out of 5, what do you want to rate this movie? We are usually very, very close to this.
1, 2, 3. Say it. Right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna rate. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5.
That's my favorite.
4 out of 5 for me. I don't really rate anything 5 out of 5. Very, very few.
Very, very few. But I mean, this movie, for being a 2-hour movie, it did not feel like a 2-hour movie, that's always a good sign. A big criteria for me.
Which American Hustle failed at miserably. I still am so mad about that movie.
We'll save that for another day.
I'm so mad about that movie.
We'll save that for another day. No, this one, I mean, the acting was great. There was enough. I just lost my train.
Acting was great. There was enough.
I was gonna say there wasn't a lot of character development. I mean, it's not like we heard a lot about his past or really kind of what he wanted to do in his future. It was such a small time frame, but there was so much that seemed to happen to kind of move the story along within that.
Quick question.
Time frame.
Give all we know about this guy.
Uh-huh.
The opening scene at the dump yard with the watch.
Yeah.
Do you think he got rid of that guy?
I don't know. Okay, and see, that's the thing with this movie.
Because at the beginning, because it happens at the beginning, you don't know what happens, and then by what you see his character do at the end of the film, you have to wonder.
But I mean, that's the thing with this movie. There were so many parts where you feel confident that you know what happened, even though the movie doesn't tell you. But there's just enough wiggle room that it might not be the way you think.
Which I sometimes kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like there were unanswered questions because you're pretty confident in what he actually did. But it didn't really tell you.
And you're right. And the unanswered questions that we're talking about aren't necessarily like at the end of the film, like what happened, like the film just ends like point blank. Like the film gives you a resolution.
Yes, which I appreciate.
Which you may or may not enjoy, but there is a resolution. There are other parts of the film that we're talking about where it's left open to interpretation, but it's not the ending. Like, for instance, Inception with the spinning dreidel. I mean, like, or the top, excuse me. But it's just like, but it's not like, oh, is it about to fall, or is he still in the dream? Whatever. Anywho, it's spoilers.
This you can be done, but then tonight we'll sit down and be like, what if he killed that guy? Or wonder what he really.
Or what else has he done?
Or did he hire that?
Like, how many other careers has he tried to do this with?
Yeah.
And this is just the one that he finds success at? Because he's so much of a loner and kind of, I swear to God, this is like the gritty version of 40-year-old version.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
I think Tom said that every 20 minutes during the movie.
It's super true, though.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it is. No, it totally is.
He practically has the same haircut. It's just a little bit longer. He's got that wide-eyed kind of socially awkward.
Okay, wait. We should probably talk about Jake Gyllenhaal's creepy smile. I can't do it. His
and
lips
wide eyes.
His lips went up and then back down. Ooh, but I mean, every time someone was talking to me, it's kind of like.
Well, it's just kind of like, what's going on back there? And it's like he's trying to hide all that crazy behind just a simple smirk, which is eerie.
Okay,
also,
here's the thing.
He would have been a really cool Joker.
Yes.
If they hadn't got Jared Leto.
Yes, for that smile. I'd be intrigued to watch another future movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and see if I'm if his character carries over to future films, because I'm kind of concerned it might. I'm kind of concerned I might look at him and be like, I cannot not picture you as creepy Leo Bloom. I'm a little. I think you're gonna
have a problem with that thing. I don't think you're gonna have an issue forgetting this Leo Bloom character. Not because it wasn't a memorable performance, but because the next movie he's making, he put on about 60 pounds of pure muscle to play a boxer.
Go on.
And he's kind of hulked out or something like that.
Should probably go watch that one.
Well, it's being filmed. But Jake Gyllenhaal is let's just say that this is a far departure from October Sky.
Oh, can we watch that next?
Really?
I love October Sky. Tom.
Really?
Isn't
that the one with the box? Isn't that thing where
Rockets?
The Rockets thing? Yeah, and he's got the teacher who's dying and stuff.
Doesn't matter. It's great.
That's what he looks like now as a boxer.
Oh my.
For those of you who can't see that.
Oh my.
I don't know. I can't get the angle right. Whatever. You look it up. Just type in Jake Gyllenhaal boxing film, and you'll see what it looks like. He's put on 60 pounds of pure muscle.
In the Google?
Yep.
In the Google.
A little bit of.
All right, friend. My wine's almost gone. We should probably go.
Okay. Well, anywho, thanks for joining us. Okay, so for the 4 or 5 people that actually watch this thing, please tell us what movie that you want to see us review next time.
Hey, and those 4 or 5 people are happy little campers.
They are happy little campers, we hope.
Thanks, Callie!
Thank you, Callie. Please. So, anywho, if you do like us, if you do like the video reviews, like this video, or subscribe to the YouTube channel, either way, we would appreciate it. Leave your comments. If you think this is terrible, just say it. Just what the hell are you two doing? Or whatever like that.
No, don't, because then I'll go in a spiral down depression, and I'll just end up eating jelly beans and drinking wine, and it's the end of the day.
That'll be 7 comments, though. I mean, who cares? The other thing is, though, too. So, anywho, I'm trying to think of a movie that... This is also one of the first opportunities, I think the only opportunity since we've done this, that we watched and reviewed a movie that neither one of us had seen before.
Because Tom likes his movies.
I do.
Really?
I do. Well, you had seen Pitch Perfect last time, and I hadn't. And then I have seen every movie we reviewed ever since. Otherwise.
Win!
So this is the first one I think that you and I both haven't seen.
Awesome.
We watched Hook. I don't remember the other one.
We both had seen Footloose.
Footloose, yep.
Yep.
So I'm trying to think.
Arrow. We did Arrow.
We did an Arrow thing, which I've seen all of them. Oh, God, you've got to. You know what? Actually, Flash is actually starting to be better than Arrow.
Oh, good. I just got a way I can watch it on mine. So.
The Flash is pretty cool.
Okay. You and I will get on that.
Did you hear that Supergirl is starting on CBS? Because CBS owns Warner Brothers.
Supergirl.
They just casted her. It's like, I think she was on Glee, but it's not. It's one of like the off characters. But her costume looks pretty good.
Well, that's important.
It doesn't look like a cheerleader outfit.
You
know, like
Glee.
Well, that was the fear, right? Like it looks more like a like she has the skirt and stuff, but she doesn't have. She has like leggings on and then her boots, so it's not like she's showing bare leg. Like she's not like. This is her. I think they showed for a picture.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know her either. Like I think she used to be on Glee for like 10 seconds, I think.
Huh.
But.
Well, we shall see how it goes.
We'll have to catch you next time. Thanks for watching, and we will see you probably in a month or two when we do another review.
1 month.
1 month. 1 month.
Come on.
All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.